Okay, Blue. So we are back again, and I am seeking some Mars influence from you on a question I have. As far as sexual health and wellness goes, what happens in a relationship between a male and a female from your male point of view when the man is not the only sexual partner the female has? In previous videos from the Venus side, we discussed the female taking in all that male energy from multiple partners. But what is that like on the Mars side of things?
On the Mars side of things, it can get a little tricky. I will do my best to talk from an objective standpoint, but I'll throw some personal opinions and observations in that as well. Uh, it's all energy. If we want to agree to disagree that it's all energy, then it's all energy, and since it's all energy, we're all affected by all our encounters. If you remember, there was a famous skit by Robert Townsend
Hmm.
that, remember, he had this thing about doing the nasty,
Yeah.
and when the woman was like, "Oh, when you sleep with somebody, then you sleep with all the people they
Hmm.
sleep with,"
Hmm.
and then you saw her, and then all these guys, and then you saw him look, and then it was all these women, and then the one guy, the what's his name, the guy that was in, he does the big bulky brother. Oh my gosh, people who know what I'm talking about will know who I'm talking, know the gentleman I'm talking about. And
Hmm.
he was like, "Hey Rob," you just, and they were making a joke out of it,
Right.
but
But it's out there.
energetically,
Hmm.
that is more true than uh, biologically.
Hmm.
Okay, because especially at the rate of the toxins that we're taking in and dealing with in our systems and in our toxic communities today, uh, you got other stuff to worry about. To be honest, in who slept with who. I mean, seriously, you just, it's not something that should be discussed and put into its right place.
Hmm.
If there is a place for it, let's be honest. Uh, but people make way more out of it in the wrong way than they need to. As a man, if there's going to be another man involved with that woman, you, okay, from a Western psychological standpoint, you would think you would want to know who that man is, number
Right.
one.
Right.
Uh, that's for safety reasons. That's, we talk about our community. No first 48 going on here. Let's keep it real. You know, you got the crazy ex-boyfriend you still sleeping with, and then you start talking to me, and too many brothers have been like dead or going to jail because some crazy that ran up on them the wrong way,
Right.
and the brothers know it's real. So that's the truth behind that. So there's got to be some disclosure and honesty going on if it's going to be like that. So just like you tell the men to step up, the women got to step up.
Hmm.
Energetically, now we have things that we play and things that we do to help change the energy. Uh, People get kind of freaked out when people talk about those kind of things. But again, if we agree to disagree, if you go into the Catholic Church, they're burning incense all around their office and doing stuff. They're lighting candles. You go into our churches, everybody got to have stained glass shining inside the church and doing other things. It's all about changing the energy.
Right.
Those things don't just come about. These are just, oh, this is cute, so we're gonna do it. No, the people are doing it to change their energy, and many times we're not versed enough to understand what's going on. The music, the mood, even. So you want to be aware of that, and then you want to understand the woman that you're engaged with this. Now, there's a certain segment that the men will say, well, I don't know if she was with somebody else. And then there's men who say, I'll never know if she's with somebody else.
Right.
And there's more men that are correct to say, I'll never know if she's with somebody else. Because if she don't want you to know, you're not going to know. For most men, that's where it's at.
True.
So therefore, you have to press and understand if you are in a certain space with this woman. You can feel when there's different things going on with her, and that sixth sense, your gut, your connection to the God, not okay. Um, there, you'll get a feeling. Now, it doesn't mean you can prove it, and it doesn't mean go on some witch hunt. It just means you're gonna get a feeling. Pay attention to it.
Right.
If it's strong enough, you're gonna have to act on it and say, I'm not really feeling that tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's just have a little discussion about our sexuality, because that's a big part of our sexual health and wellness is just being able to have the discussion. It's not the activity sometimes as much as it's being able to open the discussion. Okay, if you have the beliefs in your mind that you want to be healthy and you keep thinking those thoughts, even if you were started out eating a bucket of fried chicken a day, if you keep saying to yourself, I'm gonna be healthy, I'm gonna be healthy, eventually that chicken ain't gonna taste good.
Right.
It's gonna kick over in your mind, and you're gonna force yourself, and your mind will take over, and then boom, you're gonna stop eating that chicken. Now, it doesn't mean take that route to do it, but it does mean that's how powerful
Your mind is.
the thoughts and beliefs we have are.
Right.
So therefore, if you don't have the thought, you're not going to be able to express it. So you got to be able to do that. You have to be able to have these conversations. Sometimes they seem a bit difficult because people get too emotional, they get too crazy. Okay, instead of being able to just say, look, we need to talk about it. And not from, you're going to do what I want. And not from, I don't like you seeing another guy when you seeing me, so you can't be having sex with him. And like, well, okay, I won't have sex with him, but them other two I'm still having sex with, I'm still keep having sex with them.
Right.
And that's when the guy really feel bad or goes crazy, because sometimes it's like that. You have to be able to have that conversation and push the level of intimacy that you're seeking out. Now, there's now a lot of men seeking intimacy. Into me, I see. They're not seeking that. They're seeking engagement and engagement only. Like I always call it the HFP, hassle free punani. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not trying to have no conversation. I'm not trying to take you nowhere. I'm not trying to do X, Y, and Z. I'm definitely not trying to do any practices towards no sexual health and wellness. I'm gonna show you some sexual health and wellness when we get in the bedroom. Now that's the mentality.
Right.
So more than one male, after the safety and security thing is taken care of, after the discussion thing is taken care of, then you have to say, okay, how are we going to do this? If that's something that you as a man are agreeing to. There's many men that are involved with married women that are still having sex with their husbands. Again, don't talk through spaces we haven't eventually run across.
Right.
I grew up in a Navy town, so not to dog the Navy. I grew up around a lot of military, so all branches don't matter. Okay, all branches, equal opportunity. And sometimes that's out of the desired frequency. Sometimes it is known. Sometimes you get into situations where you have men that are controlling women, and pimp them out, so to speak,
Mhm.
to other men. All of those are negative, and the consequences that follow will be.
Exactly.
So that's the first thing about that. You're gonna reap what you sow. The saying is there for a reason, folks. Stop believing that people are saying stuff just to try to spook you and scare you. The sayings are there for a reason. So you go into it negative, you're gonna come out of it negative. You're worried about stuff. You're worried about, oh, I'm gonna get caught. You're worried about, oh, I'm gonna catch a disease. Guess what? That's where you're headed. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's just how it's gonna be. It doesn't mean if you sit there and act foolish and say, "Oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to me," that none of that other stuff won't happen either. Because it's a different, again, it's energy. The universe is what you vibrate, not what you say. What you vibrate in.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can't go into these situations with fear. I say for the man, if it's a situation where he knows about it, there needs to be some very strict boundaries with cleanliness that goes on. Okay, suggest the woman douching with the internet,
Right.
which is the best thing she can use for herself.
100%.
Uh, if you're going to have multiple men that are having raw sexual engagement with you and more than likely ejaculating inside of you, you definitely need to be doing that
Mhm.
as a woman for your sexual health and wellness and safety. And the man, you should be practicing, helping her, feel comfortable and okay doing that as a requirement, and in order for that kind of arrangement to work out well. Uh, he's gonna have to keep his own self up. There's some supplements he can take natural. Go right to the herbal store and get some teas for that.
Mhm.
You know, best things for him definitely would be some of the damiana, some ginger, sarsaparilla. Make yourself a nice tea.
Yes.
Do some echinacea. You want to boost your immune system. Get you some green foods. Okay, your immune system is the kicker there. Live green foods is the best thing. If you can get you some chlorella tablets, even better. All right. Uh, that's just because if people that are going to be engaged with multiple partners need to understand a few things about that. Number one, yes, there is a biological component that may be possible. The energetic is the first, so there's a few practices that you need to get into. That means, changing up the music, doing whatever. Again, if you're into some stuff where it's just, she's just a stunt, it's just, some quick sets that, I hook her up now and then, and I can come through and, we do maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you're going into a bad situation, you need to stop. That's just it. Go home and do your massage and get your masturbator.
Right.
You're better off and safer. Okay, that's just where it's at. As a woman, definitely she's got a part to do, and he's got a part to do, and then him and the guy definitely got to be talking. And usually, though, the men, if they're a bit alpha in that regard, it becomes again, we get into the ego thing.
Right.
Because if you don't want to be in that, then get out of it.
That's it.
Don't battle with anybody. Fight for the limitations to try to stay in something. If that situation does not feel good to you, then you've already got the answer you need. But I love her, man. Listen, you don't love her. You love what you're doing with her.
Mhm. Stop
Stop with it. Stop with it. Oh, she got my heart. That ain't what she got.
Mhm.
Because if that's the kind of love you're feeling, you need it to be reciprocated. And guess what? You can love her from afar. You don't have to engage sexually. So stop with it. Okay? Definitely, I know in our community there is a lack of kissing and other things that go on, and there's all kinds of derogatory things said and jokes made and this and that and that. if you are going to be kissing that woman and doing things. So, uh, again, you know, like I would tell those younger guys, you know who you have at home. So if you with her and it's just, you know, no holds barred and this and that, please don't think Mr. Number Two is is something different.
Right.
Okay, just you know, we have to just stop. And to be in those situations without the maturity and without setting some structure and boundaries in there, without doing extra practices to ensure you stay away from some negative consequences that could be vibrated up. Again, it's not an oddity for the woman to have more than one male partner.
Mm-hmm.
For men that are knowingly going into that situation and want to be in that kind of situation, then you got some work to do. And the sexual health and wellness practices can help you with it.
Thank you.